Hey there, guys. Good evening. I guess it's evening, 5:45 my time, Pacific time. And I'm prepared for an early turn in. So, yeah, excuse the attire. Anyways, on a more serious note, just wanted to say hi. How are you? And for those that don't know who I am, I go by the Healthy Life Coach. My name is Veronica, but I go by Ronnie for short. And today or this evening, just wanted to hop on here and just talk about parenting adult. I guess they're not children, but they're forever your children. Considering my twins turned 20 today, and I'm blessed for them to see that and for me to see that. Um, but sometimes I just take a step back and I just look at this generation, and maybe it's just me, but you guys can let me know. Send a comment. You know, I'd like to know what your thoughts are. But it just seems like this generation, I won't say are a little bit detached, but when it comes to just, in person interactions or practical decisions and so on, they just seem a little delayed. Um, for example, there was something I was telling my youngest daughter about. This was many years ago when we lived in Pahrump, Nevada, and we had our little small farm with, we had some goats, we had some chickens and turkeys and ducks and so on, and we were, had our little garden and so on. And I would tell them bring the, fruits and vegetables in and just put them in the sink with some cold water and a little bit of salt and or vinegar. Why did she tell me, oh, Mom, I saw this on TikTok? Because I came in the kitchen, I was like, oh, now you want to wash your fruits and vegetables? Oh, I saw this on TikTok. And I'm just like, okay, I told you this before. But hey, however the message is, received, I guess it doesn't matter who the messenger is. But on a more serious note, what I am noticing just with observing young people, even the younger ones. I work with elementary school kids, and it just seems like electronics kind of dominate the lives, and there is a lot of lack of, interpersonal interactions, face to face and so on. And how I see that as a problem, where it shows up as a problem, I even see like delayed responses to things. And in my opinion, how this can affect us, not just even if you don't have kids, but how this could affect the community and society as a whole. If you have people that are losing that interpersonal skill, or the human contact, those social skills, how are they going to think outside of the box? And as a matter of fact, it's not just the young people. I recently experienced, uh, a real estate professional that could not calculate income. She was very dependent upon the app, and unfortunately, the app only allowed to update or upload either like check stubs, or if a person received income from like Social Security, something like that. But outside of that, if other income was listed, she did not know how to calculate that. So she sent out an email basically saying, hey, you're going to need to pull out the calculator and tell me what your income is. And I was just like, wow, okay, this is interesting. Um, and so I just politely um, gave her a lesson through email. For those of you that don't know, I spent over 14 years, actually over 15 years, working in mortgages. I funded loans and did government audit of government loans. So, with this particular person, I had to go on and let her know, okay, how you calculate financial aid if that's being considered as income for someone that's going to school. Find out what the semester is and how many months that is and what the amount of income that was received and divided by those months. As far as like bi-weekly income, and especially when it's salary the same amount, you take that week and you multiply it by 26 weeks because it's bi-weekly and we have 52 weeks in a year. And so then you divide it by 12 and that gives you your monthly income. So my point being, I'm not even good in math. I don't know why I always ended up in jobs funding loans. I I don't know because I really suck at math. But practical math and dealing with math that has to do with everyday living and budgeting and so on, I can say I've not mastered it, but I'm pretty good at it. So getting back, I know I kind of went off on a hiatus there, but getting back to practical interpersonal skills and thinking outside the box as it comes to electronics and apps and so on, they're great. However, I think we're losing that personal touch and being able to think outside the box. And again, that was an example of a woman. I would say she had to be in her 60s or 70s. And in my mind, and I know I shouldn't say should, that's a word I try not to use, but I felt like she should know this. Unfortunately, she did not, and my bad for saying she should. So maybe that was just a teaching moment for me to share with her. So, getting back to young people, it concerns me because even when I observe driving, it's just like, all right, so you missed a turn. Okay, navigation's not working because it's spotty in certain areas or the weather's um, contributing to some issues. Um, you know, I observed like, okay, it's almost like a panic. Oh, what do I do? I missed this turn and so on. Instead of just getting off at the next exit and let navigation pick back up, or just make a U if when safe and so on. Also, as it relates to other practical skills with young people, um, when they're leaving home, or even when they're at home, they want to be grown and talk that grown talk and spend like, hey, they can make it rain on the earth and money ain't a thing. However, when it comes to practical things like, oh, my eyesight's not working so well, or these glasses aren't working, and it's like, do you have insurance? Why don't you make an appointment? Oh, I'm noticing this or that going on with my body. You have insurance. Why don't you make an appointment? However, um, on the flip side, I'm not a person that's that great with apps and so on. And it's like, oh, you just do this, like, as if I'm stupid or something. But that's okay. I just, I'm always open to learning. But my concern for this younger generation, and I think where we have to take the lead as parents, we have to stop doing so much for our young adults, and we have to start asking them questions like, okay, so what does the solution look like? Let's talk about the solution and how do we get to a solution instead of just sometimes like me, I get impatient, I just do it. No, we've got to stop that because we are raising a generation that is, in my opinion, dependent on apps and computers and so on, and are not able to think outside the box. We already have, that issue where a lot of them can't even read cursive because they weren't taught that in school. And I'm not saying that that's, mandatory or even necessary. However, I think it is a good skill to have. Um, it says sign your name, and people are printing their name. And all they know how to do is print. Some of them only know how to print in uppercase. So, getting back to parenting and parenting adult children, we have to, almost get into a mindset of thinking, not even almost, because where I was going with that is we're not going to be here always. We may not be here and we may be here physically, but what about a mental or we have a medical impairment and we're depending on them. If we're not teaching our kids, they're not teaching them how to budget. They're not teaching them how to balance a checkbook and so on, and how to, balance their account. And if you become ill or something and need their help, I think we're in a world of trouble. So, on that note, I do believe that we have to do a lot more as parents. And, I'm old school. I believe in having a lot of family discussions over dinner, whether that or lunch or whatever, whether that's at a restaurant, a fast food place, something of that nature. But I think there are lots of opportunities for teaching moments as parents for us to be able to pour into our youth, and that's pouring into our future. So even with the younger kids, parents, we got to do better. Young people, elementary school and so on, I think all the way through high school, there shouldn't be electronics in their rooms or in their access, especially on school nights. Work with young people. Oh, I'm tired. I was on my cell phone. I'm like, huh? I was on my cell phone all night. That's why I'm tired. And you're in first grade? So, and how that plays out, then you have, possible behavior issues that play out in schools. Then, that could be like the domino effect. You have one kid acting out that triggers others, or it can cause a whole number of issues, and your child is not able to completely learn because they're tired. So, again, we got to stop letting electronics be the babysitter of our kids. We got to take time out and spend time with our kids, set boundaries, and sometimes that may mean, turning the Wi Fi off. I know I had to do it when, I had teens growing up in the home. Yes, it was inconvenient. It meant I couldn't watch some things I wanted to watch, or you know, I was just inconvenienced and without being able to have the Wi-Fi. And many times I gave in, I'm not going to lie. But then I had to, hey, I got to reset this boundary and I got to stand by it, because it will pay off. Because if you are a parent that continues to give in, guess what? You are contributing to a lot of these. I don't want to throw any labels or anything around. You're contributing to a lot of these narcissists that are running around thinking everything's supposed to be their way or the highway, or they can manipulate everyone. Not saying that everybody's a narcissist that have, manipulative behaviors and so on. But I just think as parents, we got to do better. We have to take time and continue to pour into our kids. And some people think, oh, they're 18. I ain't got to worry. They're grown. No, they're forever your kids. And just, as adults, I think every day is a day for me to learn something new. Every single day. And that is what I strive for, to learn something new, incorporate different things, positive things into my life, and be a blessing, upon others. So, on that note, guys, we got to take more time out. We got to invest in our kids. We have to take time out to really see where they are mentally. I have my opinions on all these school shootings and so on, and all these challenges that, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I seen the backyard is full of snow now. Uh, I know we're expecting that because I live in northern Nevada. But it was just dirt a moment ago. Now it's all white. Anyways, but I do have my opinions on, these school shootings and so on. And I'm not saying that that's always parents' fault, but parents' faults. However, I think we need more hands-on and need to be, as those kids stay out of my business. No, we need to be more up in their business to really know what's going on with our kids. We need to get back to, hey, really knowing who their friends are, and knowing who they're communicating on the phone and on the computer and so on, and not just leaving them to their own devices to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. Because a lot of times just having a conversation, getting back to that dinner table conversation, you can find out a lot. Things just happen to just come out. And you just sitting there watching TV. But if you're fully interacting and, not on your phone and, just talking, you'll find different things just come out. And those are opportunities for teaching and opportunities for you to maybe change some of your behaviors and model different behavior for them. Because after all, these kids are our future. And, if we don't pour into them, I'm already seeing customer service that's almost like a thing of the past. But on top of customer service, do you want a doctor working on you that has no way to think outside the box? Oh, the monitor went down, the computer went down, I'm doing open heart surgery, I don't know what to do. Or I don't know how to communicate. Hey, system's down, we got to go to plan B, plan C. These are things that we need to think about. So on that note, enough of my preaching. Guys, just, take time and pour into your children, no matter how old they are. And yes, as parents, we make mistakes. We get tired. And, being a single parent, it can be tough, and that can be very tiring. So just what I've learned over the years is to make every moment count. I was always trying to divide my time up evenly among my children, and I found that was not possible. And what I was encouraged to do when I was in counseling, my counselor told me, she said, well, when you're in the car, when that one child you're in the car driving to basketball practice or whatever, make the most of that time. Interact with that child, be fully focused, and really, whether it's just talking about, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to start or if I'm going to be on the bench, or I don't like the long bus ride, really just be present. Because the bottom line, all of us, we want to be loved, we want to be heard, we want to be seen, and we want to know that we matter. And if our kids get that from home, they're not looking outwardly to predators for fake love. All right, enough of my preaching. I really would like to get you guys feedback. If this is something that resonates with you, or you have some questions, please enter your comments. I would love for you to follow and share, so this message and other messages can be shared with others that are interested in these topics. On that note, be blessed, and depending on what part of the country or world you're in, will always be safe, always be mindful, always be prayerful. But if you're on the West Coast, be safe with this winter storm. If you're in the Panhandle, I guess be helpful, be safe, and try and stay out of the way of the fires. And if you're able to help someone that are experiencing these disasters right now, please do so, even if it's just a prayer, because prayer works. If you can, donate time, donate money, if you can donate meals, all of these things, in clothing, hygiene products, all of those things are needed. So many prayers going out to those in our panhandle area of our country, and those that may be impacted by this winter storm and blizzard that we're having. I'm hearing between 12 and 12 feet of snow, and that's a lot of snow over the course of a weekend. So again, be blessed, and I will chat with you guys later.